My name is Scott Towers. I'm the saxophone player for Fat Freddy's Drop, and on stage I'm known as Chopper Reeds. No, there's no sordid tale there, I'm afraid. It came from we were doing some shows in Australia, and we were at the airport one day, and on the front page of the newspaper they had a picture of Chopper Reed, who was actually a gangster in Australia, and Dallas held up the newspaper and then put it beside me and said, "That's who you are, that's your name."
G'day, my name is Mark James Williams, aka MC Slave of the mighty Fat Freddy's Drop crew. No, I was actually a teenage rapper, and when I was a kid I was part of a group called MC OJ and Rhythm Slave. And Rhythm Slave came from, of course, was a twist on the Grace Jones classic Slave to the Rhythm, and yeah, it was just one of those accidental names. I never put much thought into it at all, and then as the years went by it got shortened, and my mates would just go, "You're Slave, you're Slave," and MC Slave, and the Freddys sort of christened me, gave me the MC title.
My name's Ian Gordon. I'm also known as Dobie Blaze. I play the keyboards in Fat Freddy's Drop. I saw this guy called Dobie Gray on a record cover, and I just like the word Dobie, and for some bizarre reason, don't know why. And the Blaze, the Blaze is, I just like I knew this old dude and he had a blaze of grey hair, and so I thought it was really awesome, just the look of this, and that's what they call it, a blaze. And so I thought I'd call myself Blaze, and the bizarre thing is that years later I now have developing a fucking blaze.
I've been long-time friends of the band, but about 2006, just around the time of Based on True Story, I was basically loitering around with intent. If the band was anywhere within a 100-mile radius, I would generally go and go and hang out and get on stage and have a jam with the band. But I also do video projects, and I directed the Wandering Eye video, which off that album, and so it was sort of just one of those things. It was sort of through osmosis. I mean, I was sitting there when Moo spent all night mixing the first album. I was sitting in the studio loitering around, and you know what I mean. And then, but I've done a lot of video stuff for them. But because of sort of rapping and emceeing and toasting, that sort of thing was sort of also part of my thing. The boys sort of kept asking me back to come on stage. So they asked me on one tour, and then they asked me on another, and here I am, like 7 years later. So
Since the start. And before that, we had a band called Bongmaster. A lot of us used to jam in a freestyle band called Bongmaster, and that was me and Dal. We actually started playing covers with Dallas years ago, and we started jamming, smoking weed and jamming. And I was in the whole covers industry at that stage as a musician. And then jamming with these guys got me into the idea that playing original music live. I used to like writing at the time, but playing it live was actually viable, was possible, and it was the better path. Thank goodness. Otherwise, I'd be playing fucking Broadway and well, I don't know. What a night in Beijing or something.